Kings Club Baccarat for the professional player or the side hustle player, not for the entertainment player. We're here to make the money. We're narrowing in on almost at 100% wins. We're right at about 95, 96 right now. We're trying to narrow that last couple of percentage points to get it done. So we are getting ready to go tonight. As soon as we get some from the kingdom in, and even some strangers may wander in tonight. I'm going to talk about a few things, and then we're going to do a simulation using our strongest system we have right now. But everything is under refinement all the time. Guaping 2012. There you go. Angel is in Northern Virginia, and he is working crypto, and he is working for a major company doing proposal work. So he's quite busy with a couple of things, but he's had to go his own route, and got some things going on with his wife and his daughter as well that he's taking care of. So all things are good with him, and we'll be circling back with him at some point. Kings Club Baccarat, loving it, and finding out all kinds of things about this game. And there's Trish Graves. How you doing tonight, Trish? And let's get everybody in the house, and then I'm gonna make my apologies for something from last night. Oh my gosh. We always say no good deed goes unpunished, and last night was a classic example. Got a Hail Mary from a very good friend of mine, and had to make a trip out of town to help him out. And the closer I got to it, the more complicated it got, to where I ended up out till about 2 o'clock this morning and lost my show last night. Lost letting people in on the baseball bet because I wasn't able to get on the air. And then the baseball bet I had was on the Cubs, and the Cubs then had a day game today, not a night game tonight, so couldn't get it to you. In some respects, I'm glad for most of you that it didn't. Corey Jensen's here. I'm not glad for him because Corey didn't get the bet down, and the doggone Cubs lost the opener. That made it even worse because now the Cubs are an overwhelming favorite to win tomorrow, which means to get the money back, you're going to have to bet more than you would like to bet. But this is the way it works sometimes. Other situations underway is the backup game was to play the Red Sox, who are hosting the Mariners. And should the Red Sox lose tonight, I would advise betting the Red Sox in the two-game set starting tomorrow and make that your first bet. But if you want a more of a sure bet, I think the Cubs are a pretty sure bet tomorrow, but you're going to have to bet a lot to get your money because the Cubs are going to be an overwhelming favorite. And Corey Jensen's in here, and he knows it very well. And Corey is a Cubs fan, so we're hoping that the Cubs can get it done tomorrow. The joke that I had in mind because of what happened last night was, in case you've never heard this joke before, and it's kind of an old one, but a guy went to the doctor and he got a physical exam, and the doctor was going to call him with results. And about a week later, the doctor called him and said, "Oh my God," said, "I've got some bad news and I got some worse news." So the guy said, "Well, geez, give me the bad news." And the doctor said, "You've got 1 day to live." And the guy said, "Well, God, Doc, what could be worse than that?" And the doc said, "Well, I meant to call you yesterday." So I meant to be on the show yesterday, and the bad news is that the Cubs lost yesterday anyway, or maybe that's the good news. So we're left with a Cubs game tomorrow, daytime Saturday, or we're left with, if Boston should lose tonight, I would advise you to take Boston tomorrow night and play in a two-game series anyway. But we got everybody in the house. This is a Friday night. I wasn't expecting a whole lot of people here, but let's go ahead and shuffle these up, and we'll see, can we do 4 sessions tonight, or how it goes. We're gonna play chop the player, and we're gonna play streak the banker. So what that means is a player chop on after 2 player wins, and we will go too deep on it if we had to. And when it does chop, of course, it chops over to the banker, and that gives us with a King's Banker 2-1-2 bet. So we've got thanks, Corey. We got 2 ways to go here, And I'm still looking at refining either one of these ways of playing and playing only one of them. But having said that, now I'm just going to get very brazen. I'm going to open with the baseball bet in honor of Chuck Ritter, who still plays the baseball bet to this day. So we will play the baseball bet with Delaware betting. It's the first after the first loss. It looks like Martingale, but instead it's just up 4 units. We got $100, 4 units to 25, down 3 units to 25 at the wins. So we're going to put $100 on the banker right now in a baseball bet with to start things off here. And with that loss, we are going to put it up another 4 units. And now we'll go just 1 unit. That means up 4 units. Hot dog, there you go. See, this is in honor of my baseball bet. The baseball bet says that you'll never lose three in a row, and there they are. So hot dog. So now we're going to bet 400 that the banker will chop the player streak here. I love it. I love it when the irony is dripping. So this is the second chop bet because we hadn't played any chop bets. And there we go. We open with 5 straight losses. So now we've got a $600 bet we're going to bet now, but we don't have a bet to make. We're going to have to play King's Banker. Naturally, the oh no, he's not even going to win this time. So we're not betting, but we got a $600. So we got a big hole here. So let's have some fun tonight. Hey, Michael Steinfeld. I've had some great emails with Joe Gorecki and Chuck Ritter and a phone call with Corey, a phone call with JP today, and also Soup Campbell's on it with us too. So well, we got the chop there finally. So we got the $600 bet on the banker. I think that's what we got. We're playing King's Banker 212 now. And now it's a $700 bet. I'm just going to see how many I can lose. Maybe I should bet 7,000. There we go. So now we have got the makings of another chop bet here. So we're going to go to 8, and I'm just going to dig as many holes as I can. That's what happens when the player streaks. You can have these situations. So the $800 bet, I better write it down. The next bet is 725, or else I'll be in all kinds of trouble here forgetting where to go. So here we have a 725 bet that the banker will get another win if he can. They're looking like the Cubs right now. Whoops. Yep, there you go. So got to keep track of this. So we're going to 825 now on the banker. And with the 825, the next bet is 750. We got no bet now after finally getting a couple of wins. We got a player win there. And I think we had 2 player wins. So now we're going to try to chop this player here with the $750 bet on the banker. Down 3 units. And an 850. Okay. Let's see where we are on the big road. All right. So now we have a King's Banker. We're going to bet the banker here now. And the bet is 775. And then 875. Wow. We started at 2,520,000. No, we started at 2,542,000. Okay, that's better. That's better. Okay, so with that win, now we're going to have to wait for the chop here. And we've got a player win. Hola, Bill Latta. How you doing, buddy? And they're doing that. We need to get a couple of player wins. There's a couple of player wins. So we've got a $700 bet now that we can chop this player streak. $700. Let's see if we can get it done. There it is. So the next bet is 625. And now this is a King's Banker bet. 625 on the banker. And then 725. Up 4 units. Same way we always play. I will endeavor to persevere a little bit longer. So we have got ourselves now in a chop situation. So we got to have 2 player bets to set us up for the trigger. One player win. I think that's one banker win. One banker win there. I thought that was one player win. You got to go to work when you lose those first 6 bets, but you also learn a lot by it because things can happen at the baccarat table. Now suddenly the player can't win anything. Early on, the player won everything. Now we got 1 player win and 1 tie. I think we got 2 player wins here. Yep, 2 player wins. So we're going to bet that we can chop this player streak right here. We have a $650 bet on the banker is what the wager calls for. The 650 wager brings us to 575 next time. 575 is the next bet. But we're going to have to get 2 player wins. We're sitting out right now. King JP and his lovely partner Victoria are going to be heading out on a big cruise, ready to have some fun. And my longtime friend down in Florida, he's headed down to Fort Lauderdale. He's going on a 4-day cruise with he and his partner. They're going to make a quick run out to the Bahamas and back, and they will be playing the casino and doing some fine dining, the same as JP and Victoria will be doing. But God's sakes, if I'm not telling stories out of church here, JP and Victoria are going to, later this year, they're going to fly to Barcelona and then go on a 14-day cruise. That's going to be some kind of a fun time out there. We got one player win here. We need one more. And that's the report from the field, what's all going on with everybody. We got a $575 bet right now. Whoops, let's do it this way. 575 on the banker now that we can break this streak of player wins. And we did. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, we get to reset here because, interestingly, we started this thing losing 6 in a row, and then we didn't really get started with wins, and yet we're ahead $26 right now. So I can go back to the $100 bet, and we can be, actually I could go to 75 if we wanted to, and we would actually have achieved session profit even after that disaster. Two things are in play here. First off, you're playing the right way to try to chop that player bet, and you're playing the right way trying to streak the banker bet, and you've got our up 4, down 3 very strong betting sequence going for you. And that's what pulled it all the way back, is all three aspects of it, because we only got up to we got up to a high bet, 825. We did get up to that, but that's not that high of a bet. And I missed a bet right here because obviously that second banker would have been a King's Banker 212 win. So I'm chatting away here about what all everybody's doing and lamenting the fact that the Cubs lost the opener and wondering about the Red Sox tonight. And so King's got too many things on his mind. But I did help my friend out last night, and I wanted to do that, even though it turned out that I was in a little bit of a goat rope. We got one player win there. 2 player wins? Nope. Banker sneaked in there and snapped victory out of the jaws of defeat. Long chops going here. We are playing Chop the Player, followed up by King's Banker 212, triggered by 2 players or more in a row and 1 banker to follow, and going too deep on the bets. Using a D'Alembert, up 4 units, down 3 of $25 units, getting $100 session wins each and every time. And this is a $100 bet on the banker here. We'll see 2 player wins here streaking there, 2 player wins. So we're going to bet $100 on the banker that he can chop this player streak. And he did just that. So again, here's what I'm going to say. We started out with $2,542,400, and we proceeded to lose the first 6 bets. And right now we're up $121. I'm going to go ahead and play one more session, try to get one more session here. We've got a King's Banker 212 going, and it's started by this right here, the 2 players, 2 or more, and the 1 banker is the trigger. So any amount of players, 2 or more, followed by 1 banker, calls on us to do 2 deep plays on the banker. First bet's $100 that the banker could repeat. And then we simply add 4 units for our second try at it. Good. Well, maybe we can dig another hole here. That would be really nice. I'd like that. I'll just sit here and play all night long. So that's a double loss right there. That's what it looks like. So now we're looking for a chop on here on this player. So we got $300 bet here. This way of doing it gives you ample opportunities to bet. We're trying to chop this player right now. and then a $400 bet. And with the $400 bet, now that is going to be a trigger. So that trigger is going to be after a streak of players. There is the trigger. 3 players in a row, followed by 1 banker. The first bet's going to be $325. We're going down 3 units from the 400. $325 on the banker. And then $425, the second try. Boy, the King's banker is just getting blitzed tonight. Terrible luck. Look how ugly this is. That's what it looks like. That is ugly. So with that bet, we go to 525 that we can break this streak of the player. And we take a second bet as we dig another hole. It happens. The 625 bet will bring us to a 550 bet next time. And we are going to continue here. Maybe I'll just run the whole shoe out. This is a King's Banker 212 again. So we got a $550 bet. That's what I think it is. We're going to bet that anyway. On the banker. 212. And with that win, we are up again, minorly. So the next bet's going to be 475, and I'm going to bet it anyway. At the next opportunity, even if I have to shuffle it out, I'll start it with a doggone baseball bet again for fun. I mean, we deserve to have a little bit of fun on a Friday night, right? But we've got a chance to make a bet here because we got 2 players in a row. Pretty sure right here at the end of the shoe, we got 2 players in a row. So we're gonna try to break this. Whoops, let's do it this way. 550 is the bet, down 3 units. And then 650, up 4 units. And we're going to go to 750. We don't have a bet right now, though, because we got 4 players there. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get a bet in here. Not going to. So we're going to shuffle this up. And we'll start with the baseball bet for $100. No, I'm not going to bet 7 on the baseball bet. There's the baseball bet coming through for us for $100. Usually it does, but tonight we saw it fail one time. That's the first time it's failed for us, but it always is a possibility out there. Let's see if we have a bet or not. No, we had a tie. We had 2 ties. That's right. So off of that, I'm going to bet 750 that the banker is going to break this streak right here. We need a banker win. Didn't get it. So we got to go to 850. Second try. Player streaking on us. We'll go to 950 on after a banker win. That's right there. There it is. This is King's Banker 212 here. All right, 850 win. I think I'll make one more bet on us tonight because I don't want to keep you guys going all night long. Player. Chop there. We need 2 players. We're going to make another bet. One of these nights, I'm just going to play the banker on flat betting and watch what happens, and you guys can have some fun going back and forth with it. Soup Campbell's done that for me in many of his simulations, and it is very interesting because all you got to do is get the one win. That one win is enough for our session. One player win there, and two player win. So let's go to 775, down 3 units. And try to get it 875. So we're going to go to $800 on the very next bet. Let's see if this is a King's Banker. It is. So now we have a King's Banker 212 that we're going to bet $800 on the banker. And then 9. Second try. And that 9, I tell you what, I'm going to go one more bet tonight. Let's make an 825 bet as a last stand at the Alamo and see how this thing works out. Off of that tie. We need two player wins. There's one. I'm kind of remiss. I should have mentioned that doggone Cali KB. I had some text messages with him today, and I think he was on the way to the casino, talking about how he was going to bet. Always fun to hear from him. The banker is streaking now. One player win. Let's go 825 on the banker to break this streak. Can't do it, so we got to go up 4 units. Hot. So now let's see if we can get a King's Banker 212 bet. Not off that tie. There, we got it. We'll try a 925 bet. And 1,025 up 4 units. Losses and losses. So what we got here? I had us out of the jam, now I put us back in it. So hey Johnny OG, how you doing, buddy? So there's an 1125 we'll make here. So I'm going to make one more bet at 1050 on the next chop. And win or lose, we're going to call this a night, because we made a good demonstration. It's instructive in nature anyway. So hey, Victor Sanjivani, nice to hear from you, sir. So I think we got it there. We've got a run there. So let's make a 1025 bet on the banker to stop this, if it can. And it got it done. Good for us. All right, so we're going to close down the Friday night here. And thanks to all of you guys who joined. I'm going to come back tomorrow night, and we're going to do it again. And I do really, you know how I am. I enjoy it when it gets rocky, because all too often it goes very smoothly. But I am going to be continuing to refine and look at this using the autopsies that we do with the big road. And so thanks to all of you for joining. And I appreciate you hitting me a like on the way out. I love you all so very much. Have a wonderful Friday night. And anybody betting the Cubs tomorrow, it's going to take a little more bet to get your money back if you lost it today. If you didn't lose it today, play it tomorrow to get your $100 or 1,000, whichever way you're betting it. Or if you choose to go with the Red Sox tomorrow, that is, if the Red Sox lose tonight, go with them tomorrow. But in any event, we've been winning with the baseball bets all season, so I'm hoping that we can continue that. God bless you all. Thank you so very much, Mike Steinfeld. Have a good night. All of you, thank you very much. Hit me a like on the way out, and I will see you guys tomorrow night.